not knowing I'm the chief of police's son, Part 2. The police officer sighed and looked at me again. I told him that it wasn't a problem because at this point I was already scared for myself. He grabbed my license and read my name. He looked at me and asked me if I was the chief's son. I responded yes, and his mood lightened. He asked me why I didn't just tell him that I was the chief's son, and I told him that I thought that I didn't need to. He proceeded to tell me that he was just gonna let me go with a warning. I proceeded to ask for his name and he ended up writing it down for me on a notepad. I went home shaking, and I couldn't believe what had happened. The fact that situation could have ended badly if he hadn't found out about my dad was even crazier to think about. I told my mom when I got home and she was furious. She called my dad, screaming at the phone and telling him that we got all the footage inside the dash cam and as well as the officer's name. My dad came home and talked to me about the situation. He also watched the video and grabbed the SD card that was inside the dash cam. He was deeply disturbed by what had happened and he told me that he was glad that I was safe. The next couple of days, I would ask my dad if there was any updates. The officer involved was put on administrative leave pending an investigation. My father wanted to make sure that everything was checked out fairly in the investigation. He was very determined that this situation would be solved his way and also had a talk with the entire force, showing the video to everyone about what had happened to me. The dashcam played a very crucial role in the investigation. The local news outlet ended up picking on the footage and it escalated it very quickly. It went viral on the internet and it sparked a lot of angry people across the community. The officer involved became the center of attention. Next thing you know, multiple people started coming forward telling their experiences with the same officer. There were multiple calls for justice across social media platforms and the public demanded action from the department. Even though my father was the chief of police, he had to deal with a lot of the stress that came with it, and I apologized to him. My father reacted quickly and concluded the officer with termination. The officer ended up having so much backlash from the public that he started receiving hate mail and threats from his home. Multiple people were outside his home and the news station was even there to try to interview him. That was the last I heard about him, and I could care less about that officer.